Hey, it's Joe Crump. I'm going to build you a portfolio of houses that'll provide you $10,000 to $50,000 a month passive income forever. My team and I will do all the work. And you do nothing. I'm not joking or being hyperbolic. We do everything. I've done it before many times, and I can do it for you too. I'm going to show you multiple scenarios for building $1 million portfolio in 1 year, buying only 5 houses. I'll show you how just 5 houses can bring you $100,000 a year in income and will likely increase in value by $30,000 to $40,000 every year forever. $10,000 a month passive income. It'll also set you up to make $10,000 a month in passive income for the rest of your life and your kids' lives too. I'll also show you how to easily scale and double, triple, and quadruple it year after year. Over the years, I've had so many of my students accomplish and exceed this goal. Here are a few case study interviews with my students. Check out this website. If you want to build long-term, reliable, consistent, passive income, I think you're going to find this video very exciting. I'll also show you how to do it without capital and without credit. I'm teaching these techniques at my 2-day real estate buying event that is coming up soon. But you may not want to take the time to learn how to be a real estate investor and do the work necessary to build a business. You may not have the time if you're busy making a living at a high-paying job that you love. I love being a real estate investor full-time, but it's not for everyone. So if you have money and credit to invest, you don't have to do it yourself. I'm going to show you how to leverage your money for the highest possible return and the least amount of risk. We can create a cash machine that will feed you for the rest of your life. In fact, if you have some money to invest, my team and I will do it for you. You won't have to do a thing. There are 3 goals for every deal you do: cash now, cash monthly, and long-term equity. You want to buy forever houses. My friend Azam calls them safe houses. I love that term because owning these properties gives you safety from every storm. They give you income, security, reliability, and growth. These are houses that will pay off over time and feed you and your loved ones until you die. And after you die, they become generational wealth that'll continue to earn money for your kids until they pass it on to their kids. I don't know about you, but being able to give my kids a good life, a good education, the ability to follow their own heart and dreams, what better purpose can you have in this world? And the best part, having this kind of passive income gives you time to live your life the way you choose instead of being tied to the millstone every day for a paycheck. Time is the one thing you can never get more of. Time to follow your dreams, time to spend with the ones you love, time to take a breath and just enjoy the fruits of your success. The Forever Fund Blueprint Calculator, $10,000 to $50,000 per month passive income. I'd like you to download this worksheet. Here's a link that you can download the worksheet and follow along. By the way, this worksheet was created by my friend and partner on this project, Azam Mayo. I've known Azam since the 1990s when, at 17 years old, he came into my office looking to work with me and learn how to be a real estate investor. He's my first multi-millionaire success story and my most successful student. I'm really proud of what he's accomplished and the man he's become. Since then, he has far surpassed what I taught him and gone on to build an incredible business that not only has made him and his team millions of dollars, he's also had a positive impact on the world, working with special needs kids and so many other worthy causes. I'm sure he'll tell you more about it if you come and work with us. I'm so excited to be working with him again. I want more Azams in my life. I want more Daniels and Bills and Shelleys and Ninas. These successful entrepreneurs, these heroes, are my students, and they are the people who make my job so much fun. You know, People always ask me about other real estate gurus and all those other real estate Facebook, YouTube, Instagram people out there. I tell them the single best way to evaluate anyone in this industry isn't by their deals or their cars or the big house they're standing in front of. It's always about the quality of their testimonials. Specifically, when those success stories are about people who started with zero and created a regular, predictable, reliable, safe income. Those are the stories you should listen to. That's the proof in the pudding. So, let's do the Forever Fund math. How much do you want to make? $10,000, $20,000, $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 per month? Let's plug in the numbers. Let's say you want to insure $10,000 of passive income every month for the rest of your life. So plug in $10,000. The worksheet does the math and multiplies it by 12 months, so you have $120,000 annual income. Next, divide that $120,000 annual income by 0.08 or 8%. That'll tell you how much equity you need in order to earn $10,000 a month. $120,000 divided by 0.08 equals $1.5 million. That's the amount of equity you need to produce $10,000 per month at 8% production. Now you can use this formula for any amount you want to make. If you want to make $50,000 per month, just multiply 50 by 12 and you'll get $600,000 annual income. Then divide that by 0.08 and you'll discover your target equity needed to make that income, $7.5 million in equity. So if you want $50,000 a month, you need $7.5 million in equity, making you 8%. Let me show you why we're using this 0.08 in the equation. It's all based on what we call 1% homes. These are homes that bring in a net income of 1% per month of the total value of the property. So on a $120,000 house, 1% is $1,200 per month. We look for houses that are making approximately 1% of their value per month. Most homes in the 100,000 to 175 range are able to make 1% monthly. If we go much over 175 or 200, most single-family houses in those price ranges make less than 1%. You can buy duplexes that'll bring in 1% at those higher prices. We do those too, by the way, but there are fewer of them available. And we want this to be plentiful, easy, and scalable. You can also buy houses that make more than 1%. For example, you could buy a house for $40,000 that makes $800 a month income. That would be a 2% house. Or a $20,000 house that makes $600 a month. That would be a 3% house. Cheaper houses have the potential of making you more monthly income, but you have to deal with more transactions, more tenants, bigger problems, more maintenance issues, and worse economic areas. So if you want a more hands-off approach, you should consider buying houses that are a bit higher in price, even if they have a lower return. Buying 1% houses is the sweet spot, the Goldilocks position. Not too expensive, not too cheap, just right. So that's what you go after, and that's what we go after in the portfolios we build. There are exceptions to the rule, but let's just stick with this for now. That means we need to look at homes in the $100,000 to $150,000 price range to see this kind of consistent, reliable, easy to create return. There are lots of ways to buy houses and make money, but some ways are easier than others. The path I'm taking you down is the easiest way to build a $1 million portfolio that makes you 5-digit monthly returns, especially if we're doing everything for you. We love 1% homes. 1% a month times 12 months equals 12% income per year. Banks will typically allow you to apply 70 to 80% of your income on a property toward the debt service, your loan payment on a loan. The reason they do this is to make sure you have enough income to pay your taxes, insurance, property management, repairs, and vacancy. So the banks allow 70 to 80% of the gross income. That works out to 8.4% to 9.6% return. 12 divided by 9.6 equals 80%. We figure if the bank will allow 8.4 to 9.6 return, and we know they're conservative, we should even be more conservative in our thinking and base our model on 8%. 12 divided by 8 equals 66.6%. So we're basing our monthly income figures on 67% of the property's income. Very conservative, very safe. It would make a banker happy. 8% is a safe, conservative return. If you have a 1% property, you should be able to produce at least 67% of that property's income. So that's how we came up with the 8% we're using in our calculations and how much equity you need in order to safely create a particular amount of income. Remember the equation, Padawan. Equity times production equals passive income. If you want to make $10,000 a month income, you need $1.5 million in equity times 0.08 production equals $120,000 of passive annual income. If you want to make $50,000 a month in passive income, you'll need $7.5 million in equity times 0.08 in production, which equals $600,000 in passive annual income. You can scale your income to any monthly income you like by understanding this simple formula. We'll come back to the worksheet later, but let's take a look at an example property to help you better understand how to make this all work for you. Here's an example. There are quite a few of these properties available with these numbers in Indiana right now if you know how to find them. If we built your portfolio for you, we would purchase a house like this and get it rent ready for approximately $120,000. And it won't be exactly $120,000. The houses we find for you will be anywhere from $100,000 and $175,000 based upon the income, value, rents, etc. We'll pay full market value, by the way. This is the same method the big hedge funds are using. 20% of all single-family homes sold in the United States over the past 5 years have been purchased for full market value by big and small investors, mostly big investors. There's a reason the big money is betting on single-family resident investments. Here's how it works. You put down between 10 and 20%, depending on the type of loan you qualify for and what the best scenario is at that time. Loan programs and rates change frequently. You'll also come up with about 5% for closing costs, points, appraisal, etc. So let's look at the number with both 10% and 20% down. Based on a hypothetical $120,000 purchase price, 10% down is $12,000. So that means a $108,000 loan at 30 years at approximately 9.5%. On that, the principal and interest payment would be $901. If closing costs are 5% of the loan amount, your total investment in the deal is $17,400. Now, if you put 20% down instead, that's $24,000 down on a $120,000 property. So that means a $96,000 loan. 30 years, 9.5%, principal and interest is at $801 a month. If closing costs are 5% of the loan amount, your total investment in the deal is $28,800. Now, you're going to buy 4 to 6 homes. If you're investing $100,000, that means you can buy 4 to 6 homes at this price. If 10% down, $100,000 divided by 17.4, the amount that you need to buy, equals 5.75 houses. So maybe you buy 6 houses. If 20% down, $100,000 divided by 28.8, the cost to buy the property, equals 3.47 houses. So maybe you buy 4 houses. The lower down payment loans make you more money, but 10% down loans are not always available for everyone. Either way, the numbers still work, and we can always find you more properties later. The example $120,000 properties I'm showing you here will rent for about $1,500 per month. This is actually better than the 1% houses we were talking about earlier. This is 1.25%. More is better. That's why it's so important to buy right when you're buying real estate investments. It's not just about the price. This is important. Once you close on the purchase, we will raise the price a bit and sell it on a lease with an option to buy. My company profit, if we're buying for you, is the amount we raise the price. We do all the work for you. The lease option fee goes to my company. That's how we get paid in these transactions, by the new buyer tenant we find for you. We also charge you $250 a month per house that you purchase over the next 2 years, which is $6,000. Or you can pay it up front at closing in a lump sum of $5,000, a discount, whichever you prefer. This is how our team sustains itself and makes a profit doing all the work for you. So, with a 20% down deal, your monthly cost is approximately $801 for the principal and interest, $200 for taxes and insurance. That's a total of $1,001 PITI, principal, interest, taxes, and insurance. You also have property management costs if you want them to be managed, and you do, at $150 a month. So your cash flow is as follows: $1,500 gross monthly income minus $1,001 PITI minus $150 property management cost. So that leaves a total of $349 positive cash flow. If you apply the $349 a month toward your principal loan amount, it'll pay off in less than 9 years rather than 30. That means you'll have regular passive income from your portfolio in less than 1/3 the time. I can't stress enough how much you save by putting this extra bit of money toward principal each month. Money that you don't have to come up with. You don't have to do anything to come up with it. It's income to you that's built into the deal. You save 21 years of $801 a month principal and interest payments that you don't have to make. That totals up to a savings of $201,852 per property. Money that goes directly to you, to your bank account. Money you can spend or reinvest. There are other streams of income with an investment like this, in addition to the rent. This is the gift that keeps on giving. Number one, tax depreciation. You'll make about $1,000 a year per property in actual tax savings from the IRS on each of these houses through depreciation. That is cash in your pocket savings. Talk to your CPA for details on this. Number two, you get buy down on the note. Each month, part of your payment applies toward the principal. As I explained earlier, the more you pay monthly, the faster you pay off the loan. But the goal is to let the tenants pay for your house. We set it up for you and put it on autopilot so you don't have to worry about it. Set it and forget it. The third type of income stream is appreciation. Now, I can't guarantee the property will rise in value, and there's a small possibility the lease option buyer will exercise their option. But historically, a conservative appreciation on these types of properties has been about 3%. So $3,600 per year per property. Now multiply those numbers by 4, 5, 6 properties over the next 5, 10, 15 years, and it starts becoming very attractive. One more huge benefit. Lease option buyers are the best. We're going to sell your rental property as a lease with an option to buy, a rent to own. The biggest advantage to selling rent to own is, one, it means your buyer is paying for our services to help you find and fill your house, and not you. What they pay us reduces your cost to invest, and it's all done for you. Two, and my favorite advantage of lease option buyers is our proprietary lease option contract puts the responsibility of caring for the house on the buyer's shoulders. We tell them, when you buy a house like this from us, we want you to treat us like Bank of America. If your toilet stops up or your window breaks, do you call Bank of America? No, you take care of it yourself. It's your house. You're responsible for it. You don't wash a rental car. Nobody washes a rental car. You wash your own car. We change their mindset from being a tenant to being an owner. When you put a tenant in the role of a buyer, they're more likely to take care of your property. Also, most lease option buyers don't exercise their option. We found it to be substantially less than 30%. You win either way, but if they don't exercise the option, you win bigger. So that's a pretty rosy picture of it all, and I'm pretty confident of what we're doing. After all, my students and I have implemented this strategy many times over the past 30 years. It's how I built my own portfolio. It's how all my successful clients and students have built theirs. So what could possibly go wrong? Well, a lot, actually. Every investment has risk, and it's possible, even with the best investments, to lose all your money. Let's look at a few of the hazards of buying houses like this. Negative cash flow. Your taxes could go up and your rents could go down. You could have a vacancy. A tenant may damage your house and you'll need to pay to get it repaired. You may need to pay an attorney to evict a non-paying tenant. This is usually taken care of by the property manager. It's important to know your risks and be prepared for them. If you don't have any reserve funds, this may not be the right investment for you. I suggest you always keep a reserve for emergencies. When my reserves get low, and sometimes they do, I make sure to get them back up as quickly as I can. My experience as a landlord has been mostly good. All my properties are professionally managed for me, so when there is a problem with a tenant or work that needs to be done, I'm never the person who gets the phone call from the tenant. In fact, they don't even know who I am. They talk to the property manager who solves the problem without me. I've owned properties for 35 plus years. I've seen it all. I've had properties damaged. I've had tenants who couldn't or wouldn't pay. I've had to pay attorneys to evict non-paying tenants. I've had storm damage that needed repair. I've had cleanup work that needed to be done after the last tenant. All of this is handled by my property managers. I don't do any of that work. Many of my properties I haven't even been to see in a decade. Some I've never seen. I just read the QuickBook reports my bookkeeper and property manager create for me every quarter. Sometimes the manager must ask me for money to pay for damages or expenses, and I've sent it to them. But when you have a portfolio, it gets easier. I have quite a few properties, and I've never had a situation where all of them had problems at the same time, knock on wood. Most of the time, the costs of the problems are covered by the income from the other properties I own, so I don't need my bookkeeper to send the property manager money very often. The worst time for me as a landlord was in 2008. We usually have a 3% vacancy rate in my portfolio, which is normal and pretty easy to manage. But in 2008, when the crash hit, my vacancy rate jumped up to 20%, and it took about 6 months to get everything stabilized. Values on the properties dropped almost 30%, but my rents didn't go down. Even though my property values dropped, I wasn't very concerned because I was not going to sell them, and I knew the values would come back up eventually. They did within just a few years and have now vastly exceeded what they were before the crash. My rents have increased, my property values have increased, and my mortgages have paid off. The reason none of this was a disaster for me was because I had reserves in the bank to cover my mortgages and other expenses during emergencies. You don't need a lot, but it's very helpful to have some. Overall, problems like this are just the cost of doing business. It happens to your stock portfolio too. You just don't see the reasons why it's fluctuating the same way you do when you own property. You also don't have nearly as much control if you buy stocks. The stock market is a black box compared to the relative transparency of owning houses. I've heard it said that your success is only limited by how much stress you can bear. Every investment you make, every opportunity you grab, everything you do in life entails risk. I would argue that even sitting at home and hiding from the world, putting your money in a mattress is risky. Life is risky. My life has been dramatically better because of the risks I've taken. Sometimes problems happen and it sucks. I don't always win. But mostly, life has been good to me and the ones I love because I was willing to take measured, thoughtful, informed risks. And I doubt you'd be listening to this if you were mortally afraid of risk. You know it's part of any profitable endeavor and any successful investment plan. Ozzum said it best. You have to be someone who doesn't give a shit about that stuff. If you're buying properties like this, you can afford a new water heater or repairs or a new roof every couple decades because the bottom line is, if you wait, you always win. And because you have cash reserves, it gives you that cushion. That's the beauty of long-term real estate investments. If you wait, you win. How we can work together. So you like the numbers, you like the strategy, you like the risk profile, you like the upside and understand the downside. The only problem is that you'd like someone who's done it before to stand by your side. Some of you just want someone to do it for you. You don't want to spend months learning all the techniques I've learned over the past 35 years. You're busy at your other job. You're busy in your life. You've got some money to invest and good credit. You know you need a better investment vehicle for your retirement, but you just don't have the time to learn and implement a strategy like this. The second type of investor is someone who wants to do it all themselves or has to do it all themselves. Someone who may not have much money to invest. Someone who needs to use zero down and no credit strategies. Someone who needs income now and would eventually like to become a full-time investor. If that's you, I can walk you through that process step by step if you let me. That's what I do for my 6-month mentor students. You can hear them talk about their challenges and successes at this link. I'm going to teach these techniques in detail at my upcoming 2-day buying event. You can come to my 2-day event for free if you're currently in my mentor program or my Inner Circle program. If you aren't, you should consider making the investment. It's not cheap. It costs about as much as going to college for 1 semester, but I guarantee in writing that you'll make money and it'll change your life. You can find out more about my mentor program and the cost if you go to zerodowninvesting.com. If you have questions about the program that aren't answered on that page, just send me an email, joecrump@joecrump.com. Now, if you want it all done for you, my team and I are going to work with just 5 people to start. For the first 5 people who fit my criteria, I'm going to build a portfolio for you. I can only take on 5 people because my team and I are going to do all the work, and I'm unwilling to bite off more than we can chew. We do everything. We're going to build your portfolio. We're going to find the properties, set up the financing, get you to closing, get them rent ready, fill the properties with stable lease option tenants, and pass them to a competent property manager. This is the ultimate done-for-you real estate investing program. To qualify to work with us, you need 2 things. $100,000 you can invest long-term, and a FICO score above 700. By the time we're done, we will invest your $100,000 to create your own cash-flowing portfolio of 4 to 6 houses. And by the way, if you have more money to invest, we can scale this and buy as many as you want. All you have to do is come up with the money and sign the paperwork. Our IGYB transaction facilitator will hold your hand and walk you through the simple steps. We literally do everything else. IGYB stands for I've got your back. When we're done, you'll own a cash-flowing real estate portfolio. Then you sit back, collect the cash flow, and wait, typically 10 to 15 years. This is a buy and hold strategy. During that time, the properties pay for themselves. Actually, your tenants pay for them. And usually the houses go up in value, probably 50 to 100% over that period of time. The properties will be professionally managed, so all you have to do is look at the bookkeeping reports you get monthly and watch the money come into your bank account. To qualify, you need $100,000 you can invest long-term, and you must have good credit, a FICO score above 700. By the way, you don't have to have that money in the bank. If you have a cash value whole life insurance policy, you can borrow the funds against it. Or if you have a HELOC, a home equity line of credit on your home, you can borrow against your house. I've done this personally with my house. I hate to leave all that equity sitting and doing nothing. If you have the funds to invest, I'll help you find, rehab, and manage a profitable, cash-generating portfolio. We will build you a portfolio of 4 to 6 investment properties right here in my hometown of Indiana. We'll find them for you, fix them up as needed, fill them with paying tenants, and place them with professional management. You'll keep them for as long as you want, forever, if you listen to me. My philosophy, never sell. If you need cash, refinance instead. If you need cash for whatever reason, above the income the properties are generating, you can refinance instead of selling. You don't have to pay capital gains on a cash out refinance, and your tenants will make your payments. As soon as you sell, you lose a cash producing asset and you have to pay taxes on the gain. So keep your properties. We will set you up so you eventually have long-term passive income of $1,000 to $2,000 per property per month. Would an extra $5,000 to $10,000 to $15,000 a month improve your retirement? Would several $1,000,000 in free and clear real estate that's fully managed and maintained, but not by you, give you more freedom and comfort when you retire? This is the exact plan I used to build my own portfolio, and I can tell you now, it's been very good to me. It feeds me every day, and if I don't get stupid and sell it, it'll feed me for the rest of my life. I want to stress something that I think is vitally important. I've been in this business for more than 35 years, and Azam has been doing it for 25, and I can't honestly think of anybody in the world who has gotten more people $10,000 to $50,000 per month income and built more multi-million-dollar portfolios than we have. We have more case studies and successful stories than anyone. I challenge you to find anyone who teaches real estate investing or sells turnkey real estate portfolios like us, who has a bigger list of happy, successful students and clients. Generational wealth comes from passive income reinvested. Our systems, training, and the work we do for investors makes passive income available to everyone. Anyone can hire us or use our techniques to create assets in set and forget mode. And once that's done, time is your ally. The difference is equity. The reason so many people stay broke is because time is their enemy. We make time your friend. And truthfully, there aren't that many ways to build equity like this, let alone better ways than this one. You get paid based on what you do, but you get rich from what you own. We always talk to our clients and students. Azam calls them our heroes. And we ask them why they feel so good about creating these income streams. They all say some version of, for the first time in my life, I feel protected. I know that money will be there for me every month for the rest of my life. And then my kids and their kids will always have a base income that continues to grow over time and continues to feed them forever. It's irreversible. There's no feeling like it in the world. When I hear our heroes say these things with such deep gratitude and love, I know what I chose to do with my life made a difference. If you decide to work with us, I'd ask you to fill out the worksheet I showed you earlier and send it to me. It will let me know if us working together is a good fit. You can download the worksheet here. I can't promise we'll partner with everyone who applies. Sometimes it just doesn't work, but I promise I'll give you a fair shake, look at your situation, and tell you honestly whether or not we can help. And if not, I'll give you suggestions on other paths you might follow that would better fit your situation. I'll take the time to do this because you took the time to fill out and send it in, and I want to show how much I appreciate you doing that. And you might be a perfect fit to work with us, but if I already have my 5 investors, I'll have to turn you down until another space opens up. So I want to be upfront with you about all this. Our mission is your success. Our mission is to make lifelong friends, helping folks around the world create generational wealth with Indiana real estate and business building. One of the best parts about my business is the relationships I get to build with the amazing entrepreneurial investors who work with us. Only 3% of the world has an entrepreneurial mindset. Only 3% are willing to ignore the tired old advice of investment experts they read in the news every day and break the paradigm and find a better way. But I'm lucky. 100% of the people who come to us and work with us have an entrepreneurial mindset. 100% have the willingness to buy, to hold, and build a massive multi-million-dollar portfolio they know will give them passive income for life. It's a gift to be part of a business that draws these kinds of people to your door. Well, that's it. You've got 3 options. You can take this information and go out and implement this strategy yourself. I've got a book that might help you. Go to this website. Number 2, you can get involved in my 6-month mentor program and let me take your hand and personally walk you through the minefield. I'll give you my step-by-step plan, my systems, my marketing, my contracts, my SOPs, the standard operating procedures, my proprietary methods for finding deals, talking to sellers, making offers, and profiting from those deals. I'll show you how to build your business from the ground up without cash and without credit, pulling yourself up by your own bootstraps. It takes work, but it's how I did it, and so many of my students have done it this way too, out of necessity. Most people don't have a pile of cash to invest when they're getting started, and I understand that better than most because I've been there. If you get involved, you'll work with me directly, not some coach I hired for $25 an hour. Find out more about my program at zerodowninvesting.com. Or 3, you can let me build your portfolio for you. My team and I will do everything. This requires some money and good credit. If you fit that criteria, just download and fill out the worksheet, send it to me, and we'll get you going. There's one more option. This is one that most people will take. You can do nothing. Everything that is coming at you in life will keep coming at you, whether you prepare or not. There's nothing you can do about that. But what you can do is prepare yourself for it. Create a solid financial structure you can live comfortably on for the rest of your life, and then pass on to the ones you love. Life is so much better when you're ready for what comes. All right, that's all I've got for now. If you want to work with me, fill out the worksheet and email me at joecrump@joecrump.com. Whatever you decide, I wish you all the best of all good things.